Good morning, everyone. How is everyone's weekend so far, guys? I hope everyone had a good weekend. Okay, guys, as you can see on the title, this is going to be my first prom look that I'm going to be doing today for you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you are new to my channel, I want to say welcome and thank you. If you're passing by, stay for you to see the complete look. I am going to be using one palette for this entire look. So let's get started into the makeup then. So the palette that I'm going to be using is the Norvina from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay. So I am going to be mixing two different colors for a transition color. So I'm going to be mixing incense, I think it is. It's called incense. It's this one. And the other one, it's called eccentric. So it will be this one right here. If I could find a brush. Okay, so the brush that I'm going to be using today, it's the one from Japanese. I think that's the way that you pronounce it. You know what, guys? I forgot to set my eyes. Oops. Yes, I did, because it does feel sort of tacky. Okay, guys, I do apologize that I always like to set my eyes after I put concealer. And I forgot to do that this morning. I don't know how, but... So that's why it looks sort of creased up. So basically, I'm just using a pressed powder just to set it. Okay. So let's go back with the transition color, guys. I do apologize for that. Okay, so with this look, I am going to do a half cut crease. So I am going to bring my transition color a bit higher than I normally would. Okay, so you already know me. I am going with my favorite Echo brush just to go back and re-blend any harsh lines that I have in my crease. Okay, so I am going to go back with the same transition color, and I am going to do it to the same eye. I mean to the other eye. Okay, so I'm gonna go back with my Echo brush and I'm just gonna go back and really blend any harsh lines that I have in there. Okay, so I am gonna go with the crease, and I'm gonna go with the other Japanese, and this is usually the one that's very pointed, and I'm gonna go with, I think it's pronounced volatile. It's this brownie color right here. So I'm just gonna deep darken in on the crease. Like I stated, I'm gonna do a half cut crease for this look. I think for a prom will look good. And the reason why I'm using this palette, guys, is because it does have some shimmers eyeshadow, so it will be a perfect look, especially if you have hooded eyes like me, that usually if you wear glitter, the glitter can get all over. Oh guys, let me tell you what happened to me last week. I bought, let me look for it. Let me look for it, guys. Guys, I bought this palette last week. I forgot to show it in the beginning. I bought this palette last week. It's a pressed powder palette. Guys, it's the worst glitter palette I ever bought. So definitely this is going to the garbage. It's not worth, well, I think it only cost me between $5 to $8, but still, it's not worth it. I'm definitely throwing this out. It's not worth giving it out to someone. Let me tell you what happened, guys. So I bought this palette last week, right? And I wanted to try it out. I use a lot of glitter. I do have a lot of glitter. So I have loose powder. Not the loose powder, it's the loose glitter. So I have never used a palette of a pressed glitter, I think it's called. So I was at the hair supply last week buying a few products for my hair that I normally would use, and I found that glitter palette. So like I have stated, I never use a glitter palette, so I ended up buying it. So I ended up using it on Wednesday. Guys, like I said, it's the worst palette. I put the glitter on. So before I even put the glitter on, I decided to use an eyeshadow, has an eyeshadow base, based on the glitter that I wanted to use. So the color that I ended up using on this palette, it's this blue right here, as you can see. So when I first was like put it on, instead of me testing it the night before and see how it was, I decided to do that in the morning when I was going to work and doing a look with glitter. Guys, it was, when I say it was the worst, it was the worst. I ended up doing it the look. I ended up using an eyeshadow has in base for the glitter. When I started putting the glitter, guys, the glitter started like removing my eyeshadow. So I ended up having like some patches in my eye. I'm like, what the hell is this? I was like, really? So I continued because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to redo my eye. And it's, you know, I'm going to work. I'm like, what the hell with it? So I'll go to work like that. I ended up putting the glitter on, guys, and it wasn't the whole entire eyelid. That even made it worse. So I ended up going to work, right? So at work, I usually take my first 15 minutes breaks between 10:30 to 11 o'clock. When I went to the bathroom, guys, around, I'm going to say 11 o'clock in the morning, when I went into the bathroom, guys, and I was washing my hands after I used it, that I looked at myself in the mirror, guys, I had the glitter was that I put just on the eyelid, and I didn't put it all the way up here because I do have hooded eyes, so I do know anything that I put here is gonna go right into my crease, like usually like the regular glitter does. So this glitter wasn't just in my crease, guys. It wasn't just here. It went past my transition color, so it literally almost touched my eyebrow bone. I was like, what in the hell is this? I was like, no. I was so pissed off on Wednesday. I was like, oh, this is like the worst glitter I ever used. And the funny thing is that after that, guys, I kept touching my eyelid. So I did notice that the glue on the palette doesn't dry. It keeps moist. So by the time I got home, guys, the eyeshadow that I use has in base. I had no eyeshadow, and the glitter was like all over. I'm like, that's like the worst palette ever. I just wanted to say that and share that with you guys. I'm like I said, I never use a pressed glitter palette, so I had the worst experience. So never again I'm gonna use a palette like that. Okay, so I am gonna go with a darker color. So I am gonna go with Passion on the palette. It's this one right here. It's like a reddish brown. So this color I really definitely wanted on my crease. And also I'm gonna bring this one up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna darken the outer V, or a little bit more of the outer V. Because like I said, I'm gonna put this entire part here as a half cut crease. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Guys, comment below if you have used a pressed glitter palette If you think they're good, comment below and see. I mean, comment below. I would like to try another one, to be honest. Because I thought it was pretty cool that they have that. But when I noticed that the glue on that palette doesn't dry, it just turned me off. But I kind of know it's because it's a cheap palette, so I don't know if a higher brand palette will do the same thing, or if you know any high-end palette. Okay, so I am going to use my concealer. So you already know the concealer that I like to use is the one from CoverGirl. Oh my god. My throat is itching, guys. I do apologize for that. Give me a moment, guys. My throat is like literally itching. Messed it up. Okay, that's no biggie. See, guys, whenever you have a hooded highs, this normally will happen. But that's not a biggie because I'm gonna go back and fix that right now. And with the same brush, I'm just gonna go back. So I'm just gonna go back with the same concealer brush. No, there's no more product here, so I'm just gonna go back and fix this right here. And voila, it's fixed. So that's why I always like to go back and blend everything with my finger. And it's not because of that either, guys. I do have wrinkly eyes, so anything that I would put on, it will show very not cute, put it that way. So I'm gonna go with Summer here, and I'm gonna put it where I just put the concealer. Okay, so back with the other brush that I took, like the reddish color or the brown reddish. Just gonna go back and blend that harsh line right there. And because I still want my crease to be darkened, I'm just gonna go back. Just gonna go reblend here. If you have hooded eyes, and whenever you did do what I just did, guys, and you feel that this color sort of faded, you can always go back and reapply. So that's why before you complete a look, it's always to go back and see where you have to go and fix anything, if there's anything to be fixed, or if there's anything to need to be added. So whenever you do a cut crease, it's something that you have to do. I'm gonna say have to do it slow. Just take your time. Because if it happened like it happened to me earlier, it really sucked. Because after you take time blending that eyeshadow on in the crease, it's very frustrating. Because I remember when I started doing my makeup and that used to happen, I'm like, what in the hell? But see, that's the good thing about makeup, guys, that you are able to go back and fix anything that you think it's not correct, or if you did a mistake. So that's a good thing. You don't have to go back and wipe anything off, unless if you messed up the entire eye look. That's something different that I would suggest for you to wipe it off and restart again. But if it's something minor, you can go back and fix it. It's not like a hair dye that if you mess it's like a hair dye or even a haircut. If you mess up in a haircut, it's something that you definitely have to wait until your hair grows out for you to fix it. And I always like to go back and reblend my crease, guys, is because just to make sure I don't have any harsh lines, especially if I'm cleaning my eyes with with concealer. Duh. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back with the same color with Summer, and I'm just gonna pack it right here. I really like the color. Sort of like an orangey gold color. But it's sort of like a mustard color. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back and reblend the harsh line right there. Just gonna bring this a little bit out like I did on the other one. I'm gonna take a little bit of more eyeshadow and I'm just gonna go over the crease. Because I really want this part to be darkened. So I'm gonna go back to the other eye and do the same thing because I feel it's not how I want it. Even though we're shimmery colors, guys, as you can see, it already sort of transferred into my crease. That's the only thing bad about a very hooded eyes. That even though that you want to have an eye look to pop or to look good, it's still, that's why I barely don't use a lot of shimmery eyeshadows either. If I do, I'll do like the entire look, like the BH Cosmetics. Most of their palettes are shimmery, so as you can see, some of the shimmer from the eyeshadow transfer there. So I'm just gonna go back and reblend it. Okay. So for this look, because I just want just the area right here that I cut with, I just want it to be shimmery. So the highlight brow bone that I'm gonna be using, it's a matte color also. So it's the French Vanilla, and it's a single palette from CoverGirl. This one and the champagne one are my favorites. Okay, so you already know me, guys. Whenever I put the highlight, I like to go back and just blend. So with a very soft hand, I'm just gonna go sweep away any fallouts that it might have. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see this harsh line right here in between. So I'm just gonna go and blend that right there. I'm not going to bring the transition color any higher than that either. So I just want to blend the harsh line that I have there. So I don't know if you're able to see the difference. So this you can see that it's already blended and all the fallout that I had, it's gone. So versus to this one, you could see the fallout here right in the crease. So it's the same thing. You are just gonna go just with a very soft hand, sweeping the eye. Once you have that fallout already out, I'm just gonna go back and blend the harsh line in between the transition and eyebrow. I mean the highlight from the eyebrow bone. So I'm not going to bring any higher of the transition color because I do want the highlight to show also. So as you can see, both eyes are well blended. Okay, so like you already guys know, I always have my face already prepped. I am going to go in with, I hope I didn't move them. And I think I did. No, I did. Okay, so I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Concealer. And you already know the yellow one that I tend to use sorry. So the yellow one that I'll use is usually to cover up any dark circles that I have. And I do have very generic dark circles, guys, because I could sleep 20 hours and I still have the dark circles. I have used a lot of products to clear my dark circles, and that really doesn't do anything to me. So yeah, so I'm just gonna blend it in with my finger. So with these concealer, guys, you do have to work a bit fast because they tend to whatchamacallit, dry pretty fast. So at this point you can use a concealer brush or a beauty blender or a beauty sponge, but I definitely don't like using I don't know, I feel that whenever I do it with my fingers, it blends out better than a sponge or a brush. So I did add a little bit too much, so I'm just taking any excess off, wiping it in a cloth that I have on the table. And I always like to keep a cloth on the table just in case if I have to wipe a brush, because sometimes I tend to use the same brush like for two different eye looks. I mean for two different colors. Okay, so that's well blended. So I am going to be using the green one to cover up any redness or pinkiness that I do have in my face. So it's usually on my cheekies that I tend to have a lot of redness. I don't know why everything is falling, especially this concealer. Even though that I am going to work, guys, I like to put this because whenever I apply my foundation, it does give me a whatchamacallit, an even skin. An even skin whenever I apply my foundation, so that's why I like to color correct before I apply the foundation. So I'm just gonna keep the green right here in this area, guys, because this is normally where I do have my redness. So I'm just gonna keep it here. I'm not gonna bring it all the way up to my dark circles, because I don't want my dark circles to look green. And in my nose. So on this area right here, I usually put it all over my nose. And I'm not going to bring it too much up either. So I did put a lot. So I'm just going to go back and reblend. And I'm going to be wiping off some of the product off. At this point, whenever you do a mistake like this, guys, you can use a beauty sponge, and the beauty sponge will take any excess off, and it will give you the nice sort of airbrush look. Okay, guys, so today I'm not gonna be using a beauty sponge. I am gonna be using the brush that I bought on Saturday from Walmart. So I'm gonna be using my kabuki brush with, I think this is, yeah, So I'm going to be using the stick foundation from L'Oreal, and I'm going to be using the kabuki brush that I bought. Like I stated on Saturday, I have never used a stick foundation. I have seen it before, but I have never used it, so I don't know if it will be better than a liquid foundation, I guess. So, and like I just stated, I never use a kabuki brush, so I'm gonna be using the two to see how it goes. I normally like to use this, so let's see how it goes, guys. So I do know I have to apply a lot here because of the green concealer. What I like, it doesn't have a smell, so that it's good. And I like to do my chin. So guys, let's test it. So this is gonna be my first reaction to this, I guess. I have never used a brush with a foundation. Don't get me wrong, I do have a foundation brush from Sally's, but I never use it. Okay, so it does blend smoothly from what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any harsh lines from the brush. Okay, so let's see how it's gonna blend here. Okay. Okay, so the foundation did cover up pretty good the green concealer. So as you can see, it's giving me like an even skin complexion. No redness. It does feel full coverage. Because usually whenever I apply the green concealer, even though some of the foundation, you can still see a little bit of redness here. And with this, I am not seeing it. So let's do the other side. Now for this, I'm just gonna type in it because I don't know if I'm gonna be swiping or doing circular motions. I don't know if I'm gonna be moving anything in there. I don't know, let me put the other light up. Okay, so it is a full coverage foundation, but because I did put a lot of green, so this part right here, I do have you can see the green part. So I'm gonna go back and put more of the foundation. I don't know if you're able to see it. Okay, so this is like the brightest. No. Yeah, so let me go back and wherever I just put the green concealer. Gonna do the other cheeky also. And it's usually right here. Okay, so it did cover the extra grain or the grain concealer coming through. Okay, so foundation is pretty good then. So I'm liking it more than the liquid foundation, because when I first put the liquid foundation, it's sort of like a light to medium coverage. So I remember playing around with it. For me to get the full coverage like this one, I had to put at least 3 coats of it. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my neck. Because I want my neck to be the same color as my face. Okay, so I am going to highlight a little bit. So what I just noticed, guys, by me putting the second coat here, it does tend to give me a lighter complexion than I normally am. So remember, guys, whenever you color correct, the color correct is usually neutralize the areas that you corrected. So because I don't know if it's the light or yeah, because I gotta put batteries on my mirror. Okay, so for this part, I am going to be using my beauty blender. I didn't wet it because I thought I was not gonna use it, so I'm just gonna use my setting spray to wet it. Okay, so I am going to be using my Airspun translucent powder. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that to bake for a little bit. So in the areas that I didn't use the translucent powder, I am gonna use my pressed powder. So I didn't brought my other new brush that I bought, so I'm gonna use the other one that I bought at the hair supply, and it's from Ruby Kiss. Oh, so the brush that I use for my foundation is the Equate brush. I think that's like the brand that Walmart use for like imitation, I guess, or okay. So I am gonna go with my bronzer, and the bronzer that I'm currently using, it's the Ulta brand one. So I'm just gonna put it from my hairline, bring it down. You can leave it up to here, but if you want your face to be a little bit like, I'm gonna say sucked in this way, so that's why I like to bring it a little bit down, but not too down all the way into my lips, because then it's gonna look like real sucked in. So I just normally will leave at least 2 fingers, so that's normally what I will leave it. And I'm gonna blend any harsh line. And the way that you will contour is you're gonna look for the hollow of your cheeks. So because I am big, you can see the hollow, so that's why I normally do the fishy face. So if I do the fishy face, so right here is the hollow of my cheek. So that's the area that you're gonna give a shadow to your cheeks. So it's basically like your cheekbone, I guess. Because you don't want to contour too down either. And because I do have a big forehead, I'm going to bring it a bit down, not too down. And I'm just going to bring it into my hairline. Just to give it that more natural look, basically. So I'm just going to contour my jawbone or my jawline. Because I am big, guys, I do tend to go a little bit up. And I like to give a lot of shadow to my neck because I do have a big double chin. So I'm just basically giving a lot of shadow to my neck and double chin. Before I forget, let me do my nose. If I can find the brush. So you already know I like to be extra with my bronzers. So I'm just gonna put it in this area also. Okay, so I am gonna use that same powder brush that I put it back. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same powder brush that I used earlier, and I am gonna be using the pressed powder just to clean up the translucent powder and also blend the bronzer that I just put. So right now, basically what I'm just doing, just blending the bronzer, just making sure I don't have any harsh lines. You could do this at the end of your entire look, but me knowing me, I'm the type of person that I do tend to forget it. So I like to go do it step by step. So I'm gonna be using my e.l.f. Blush palette, and I'm gonna be using this pink one right here. So I'm not gonna put it on the apple of my cheeks, guys, because when I first started putting blush, I used to only put it just in this area. So normally that's where you normally would put it, because I am big and I do have big cheeks. I don't want that to reflect there, basically. So I'm just gonna bring it towards where I do have my contour into my hairline. I know, when I was young, all the mistakes that I did, sometimes I just sit down back and think about all the mistakes that I used to do. It's just horrible. I don't know, I was thinking to do like a video on how I used to apply my makeup when I was in school. So let's see how that will go. I think it will be fun. So the same brush that I used for the powder brush, there's no product. I'm gonna go back and blend the blush that I just put. And I'm gonna be using my e.l.f. Brush, and I'm gonna be using my Milani highlight. And guys, you already know me, but whenever it comes to bronzer and highlight, I like to go so extra. So any product that I put on my face, I always like to bring it into my hairlines. And the reason that I do that is because I like to have my look to look natural, because I do tend to intensify the looks in my eye. So I don't want my face to be so tense in my eyes. So that's why I normally put and blend everything step by step. But I really do like the foundation, guys. It is a full coverage foundation. And to be for a stick, it is good. So that's it. To be honest, I'm going to give it a plus right now, because it does give me a very even skin. And you barely, or you cannot see the green concealer that I just put on in my nose or anything. So that is a plus. So I am liking it so far. So most definitely I'm gonna be purchasing it. I do know Anastasia Beverly Hills has one. So I'm gonna see if that also works. Okay, so I'm gonna go back with the same powder brush, no product in there. Just gonna blend my highlight a little bit. I know, because I have noticed that whenever I do my lives, I never blend it out. If I do, it's just a little bit. Let's see what else. Okay, so I'm just gonna tightline my eye. And I'm gonna put it on the waterline also. Okay, so I am going to set the black eyeliner with some black eyeshadow. Okay, so now with a pencil brush, the same thing that I just put on my crease, I'm going to put it on my lower lash. So I'm going to be using the same two transition colors that I use. This one right here and this one right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring it all the way down. So I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other eye. Just going to bring it all the way down. Okay, so I'm going to be using the same pencil brush. So I'm just going to clean it. And I'm going to go with the, I think it's called Volatile, with the crease color that I used earlier. I'm not going to bring it down. So I'm just going to have it in between my lower lashes and the transition color. Okay, so now I am going to go with a smudge brush. I always tend to lose this brush, guys. I don't know why. Okay, so I'm just going to use a regular flat brush if I can find one. Okay, so I'm going to use this e.l.f. one because it's a little bit thinner here. So I'm going to take Passion. This is like the reddish brown color that I use. And I'm just going to put it just right in my eyelashes. Under, yeah. Not that I took it. No, I didn't. Okay, so let me see if I can find my little brush here. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Milani highlight, and I'm gonna highlight my tear duct. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back in with my Echo brush, and I'm just gonna blend everything here. Just blend it out. Okay. I am going to be using my Black Radiance eyeliner. I am going to wing it out. So just give me a moment, guys, because I do tend to take a bit more here. You know what, guys, that I just remember? I forgot to do an Easter look, and Easter was Sunday. How could I forget? Okay, I probably will do that sometime during the week. Or before the month is over, I will do an Easter look for you guys. Okay, so I am going to apply some mascara. Okay, so at this point, guys, what you can do is you can leave the look this way, or you can apply the falsies if you're doing your own makeup or if you're doing someone else's makeup for prom. So I did forgot, or I always forget, I have this sort of nudie brownie lip liner, and it's from Kiss Professional. So I'm gonna be using this today to whatchamacallit, to outline my lips. So I'm gonna go back and add a little bit of more chapstick. Ah, the tip broke on me. Okay, so I'm going to be using their lipstick also, and I don't see a name here for this. Yes, I do. So it's called Blush Nude, and the lip liner, it's called Brown. So they are sort of the same color, so that's why I am going to use both of them. Okay guys, so if you are doing your makeup and you can want to leave it this way, with this is sort of like a creamy, it's not too creamy, or it's not too matte like the other Ruby Kiss that I have. So it's sort of like a cream matte together. It doesn't feel sticky and it doesn't feel over drying either. So it does feel good on the lips. So you can leave the look this way to go out for the prom. But if you want to be extra and be more, I am going to be using my Unique lip gloss. It's sort of the same color, so that's why I want to use it. And this one is Cotton Luxie. So this way. So I am going to put it on. So if you want to add some gloss, you can put it on. So you do have, I'm going to say 3 different lips. You can do it this way and leave it on, or just apply the lip gloss and leave it on, or you can do what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add both, and still the look will look good. So this is one of my favorite lip glosses from Unique. I am not a lip gloss girl. I don't use lip gloss. If you come and look at my makeup, I think if I have like 1 or 2 lip glosses, I think that's a lot for me. So the last thing that I am going to be doing, I'm going to set my, use my setting spray on me. Okay guys, so this is the complete look. I think this look will look awesome for a prom. It's not a heavy look and it's not a natural look either. It's like sort of in between. If you would like to make this look pop even more, you can add gold glitter into the gold part that I have here to make it pop a little bit more. If not, you can leave it how it is and it still will look good. So like I have said before, if I do have a machine, or if there's ever a machine invented that I can go back and return to my past or to the present, I will definitely return back to my past where I did my makeup for my prom. I remember when I did my makeup for my prom, it's nothing like this. I remember that when I was going to my prom, I booked 4 girls to do their makeup. So by the time it was time for me to do my makeup, it was already time for me to go. So I ended up doing a very natural look. nothing like this. So yes, I will definitely go back and redo my makeup for that too. So let me show you guys. So this is the complete look, guys. Thank you if you are new into my channel and you stood into the end to watch this complete look that I did for you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Guys, please subscribe, comment below if you have any questions, comment below if there's any other look, because I do feel that I do tend to use like the same colors or do the same looks. If there's any other looks that you want me to try, comment below. I would love for you to share my videos also. I guess I will see you tomorrow. For those of you that don't speak English, I will be here tomorrow with the Spanish version of this. Bye guys. Mwah. See you all tomorrow. Bye.